You know, everything has its good side, its bad and good side, even anger. And no, I'm not talking about the kind of anger that makes you bust walls or turn someone into a punching bag or bring out your animalistic tendencies. Not that kind of anger. I'm talking about good anger. Now, I know you're wondering, what the hell is good anger? Stay with me, stay with me. I would explain. But before then, hey vibers, welcome to episode 14 of My Two Cents on Vibing with Stacia. I remain your host, Stacia, and if you're new here, we do have a tradition where we subscribe, turn on the notification, and stay tuned for posts like this every week. And to my OGs who know the drill, thank you so much for your immeasurable support. I do not take it for granted. Now, let's get into class. What I mean by good anger. There is a certain level of anger that you should have or you should feel deep inside your soul to erupt change. You know, the anger that actually causes you to alter the system, to alter the process, to twat it for your own benefit. Yes, you should get angry. Now, I will explain. I'm not saying get violent. No, there is a certain kind of discomfort that will trigger that anger in you. And it's the anger of knowing that you are what more than what you are actually accepting. You are what more than where you are. And your behavior, your tendencies, your actions and inactions are actually causing you so much discomfort. So you should get angry with yourself, with the system, with the process, and then change it. We are all familiar with the prodigal son, yeah, this parable of the prodigal son, the story in the Bible of two sons. Younger one said, Dad, give me my inheritance. I'm ready. In fact, I'm tired of staying with you guys. I just want to leave and live my life on my own terms. And the father said, No wahala. Divided his property, gave the younger son his own inheritance, and off he went to a faraway land. And then he squandered all the money, spent literally everything. And the way the Bible describes it, you will say this man is a very rich man. For him to divide, so the boy, let's not talk about whether the son was useless or not, but stay with me on the story. Yeah, so he squandered all the money, spent literally everything, was living a very unruly lifestyle, partying, clubbing, babes, and all that, and eventually went broke, super broke. And then he started trying to survive, was looking for any kind of job, anything to just put food on his table, to give him food. I think he got a job working for a pig farmer and had to eat what the pigs were eating. In fact, the remnant of the pigs. So after he has fed the pigs, whatever the pigs have eaten and left, that is what he would eat. Now, this is the part where you say how the mighty have fallen. This was someone that came from so much wealth, someone who had so much money when he moved to this faraway land, and now he's settling for a remnant from pigs. From pigs, oh, pigs. That is how bad it was. And he did this for a while, was feeding the pigs and eating from the pigs. And then one day he thought to himself, the discomfort was too much. He said, make I think this thing again. In my father's house, the servants, I'm talking about the least of the servants, they are well clothed. They eat well. They have shelter, a comfortable bed to sleep in. He's talking about the least of the servants, not the senior manager, not the commander in control of the servants. The least of them is doing way better than he is in his father's house. Even the least servant is worth more. How much more him? And so at that point, he got angry with himself, with the situation. He was like, he's wasted his money. He's squandered the money. And look at his life right now. He said, no, he can't take this anymore. I know what I will do. I shall arise and go back to my father. I will tell my father, take me as your servant. Not your son, no. Don't put me back on any, because I don't even have any inheritance with you anymore. Take me as your servant. Let me work for you. Because he is sure if he's his father's servant, he will be eating well. He will have nice clothes. He will sleep in a comfortable bed. He will have luxury as his father's servant. That's how much a servant was worth in his father's house. How much more him? The son of a mighty rich man is not the one shared, like struggling remnants with pigs. So that anger in him provoked him to say, you know what, I'm changing this situation. This is not who I was meant to be. This is not where I am meant to be. I know I've not used my inheritance well. I know I've not used my blessings, my favors, my graces from my father. But now I will go back and start all over as a servant. So he journeyed back to go and become a servant, right? And we all know how that story ended. The father welcomed him with open arms, threw a feast for him, wore him the finest clothes, killed the fattest cow, welcomed him in. Now we will get back to that moral story of the whole ending, but stay with me. Basically, what I want us to focus on is the anger from the discomforts that made him to say, I deserve better. Even as a servant in my father's house, I know I am worth more than this. So how many times have we been stuck in situations where we know we deserve better? We know we are worth more than what we are taking. But we are not angry enough to break that chain, to alter that process. How many times? Some of us spend years in abusive relationships. You know this relationship is heading nowhere. You know this relationship is costing you your peace. You know this relationship is a threat to your life. But yet you're not angry enough to want to change it. You deserve more. You are worth more. God didn't create you to be a doormat. He didn't create you to be a pushover. You are worth more. And so I need you to get angry in your spirit and alter your situation, because some things will not change unless you change. Some things will not stop unless you get angry and say enough is enough. That is the kind of anger I want you to be angry. Remember, I am not preaching for you to be violent. I'm not preaching for you to be animalistic or become so tough or violent that you're inflicting pain or harm to someone. No, I'm talking about the inner anger, the deep anger that comes from your soul, from the core of your being, to want to do something different because you know you deserve better. It could be that job. You have been stuck working the same job for 5 years. No career path, no growth. The job is costing you your health, but you feel like you're not angry enough. Like, no, I'll just manage it. If I leave this job, what will I do? But they're always abusing you at work. They're not paying you enough. You're not getting your money's worth for the time and energy and effort you're putting into the job. There is no growth for you. And you still want to remain there. You are worth more than that. And I know it could be scary to make those abrupt change where you stand up and say enough is enough and decide to leave. The fear of the unknown, the uncertainty that looms can be large. I know. But what if it goes the best way for you? The prodigal son stood up to go and become a servant. He decided he was going to leave the pig farm and go become a servant in his father's house. Look at how that turned for him. Sometimes you never know until you're angry enough to make that change, to take that bold step. I have a colleague that worked for a service, I won't mention the name, for 10 years. There was no room for growth, no promotion. And then what happened? They were giving her like subsidized daycare, daycare plan for her child, and all of a sudden they took that away as well. At that point, that was when she said, no, enough is enough. You're not paying me enough. I've been working here, no room for growth, no room for promotion, nothing, no reward for all my effort. And now the little thing I count as benefit of working here, you decided to take that away. Then if you can't enhance the work environment to cater for my son's need, why I am slaving away from for you, then I can't be here. And she left. So sometimes you have to be angry. You have to be angry. The situation is not nice, but you have to be angry enough to cause the change, right? Remember the lady, the black woman that decided to say no, she's not going to stand up from her seat. That was how white and black segregation stopped. Somebody became the wheel of change. Someone got angry enough to say, I won't give up my seat. Why should I stand up for you to sit down? And that was what caused change. That a change that has been told from history to history. So sometimes you've got to be really angry about the situation, about the role you play. Sometimes your complacence, your I don't care attitude, your oh it's not my issue, or I can just endure, I can't tolerate. That's what actually causes things to keep getting worse and worse and worse, because you're keeping silent. You're tolerating things that you should not be tolerating. You're enduring things that you should not, all in the name of what? Oh, you want to keep the peace. You don't want to be the troublemaker. You don't want to be the one to... Come on. Sometimes you're allowed to get angry. You're allowed to get angry. You're not a doormat. If situation is not going the way you want, get angry. Speak up. Evoke the change that you want to see. Speak up. Be angry. And let me tell you a little story. Yeah? Tag along. So back then in Nigeria, I've always been a passenger princess. The luxury. Literally, I had friends who had cars and I could afford both. So my workplace, my church, literally everything was close to me. The market was just within a short distance. So I could either work or afford both, because it would not be so expensive because it's within a short distance. So I was always flying boat, or I had friends who would come pick me. And whenever I go out, my friends would pick me up from home and then bring me back. I even had a friend that was always on standby. If I should go out with someone who is not mobile, he would be like, when you're done, call me so I'll come and pick you. Did you hear me? I'll be like, yes, sir. So I had so many options of transportation. So I didn't see the need to actually learn how to drive. In this my big adult age, I cannot drive. And not because I necessarily did not try to learn. I also have phobia for driving. I was involved in a road accident twice, and ever since, I just can't, like, I get traumatized if I hold the steering. I'm like, what if someone crashes into me or I crash into someone? So I know I need to fight the phobia, right? But at the point I was like, well, there was no need, right? If I go home, I had drivers in the house, my brothers were driving, so if I needed anything, it was easy. Transport was easy. I didn't see the need. Fast forward to 2026, the job I recently started. So 6 weeks I had to travel to a different city for the training, Monday to Friday. One day I sat in the bus and I was like, I was angry. I was angry with myself. I started thinking, why don't I know how to drive? Why don't I have a car? Because I take the bus every morning. It's a 1 hour 45 minutes drive. I have to wake up by 5 a.m. to get ready and then catch the bus by 6:53. Whereas if I was mobile and driving, it is just 27 minutes. 27 minutes to get to work. Sometimes I get to work already exhausted from the long drive, and then my colleagues will be like, oh, I had to drag myself up by 7:30. And I was like, you're dragging yourself out of bed by 7:30. By 7:30, I'm already halfway. Like, I sat down and I was like, no, this has to change. I know I have phobia for driving, but I have to overcome it. You see that fear? I have to overcome it because why? Why? The day I took Uber from the house to work, I slept until 7, got ready and left the house by 7:45, and I got to work in time. I sat down in that Uber, I nearly cried because I was like, is this how easy it is and how comfortable it is to get to work? But I have to wake up every day by 5 to do it because I don't have a car and because I cannot drive. I said enough is enough. I finally got my provisional license. So I'm working towards getting my driver's license, and hopefully by God's grace, I'll get a car. It was not a priority. It was not on my to-do list. But after the 6 week, the shake in my eyes saw, the discomfort I felt, I've been angry to my core why I don't know how to drive. So that situation is going to change. I am changing it. Balls already in motion. Because that's the thing, you have to be angry. Like I said, I never saw the need for it. Literally, people call me, oh, are you done from work? I am passing, I'm coming to pick you. I had zero need for knowing how to drive. I was spoilt. My friend would literally pick me up every Sunday. We'll go to church together, bring me back to the house. I was literally spoilt. But now, nobody's spoiling me. Uber, very expensive. I can't be spending £30 every day going to work. I know it is comfortable, but I can't spend that. You can imagine how much I'll be spending. How much are they paying me for the work? So sometimes you have to get really angry at yourself, at your situation, at the process, and alter it. I should have learned how to drive a long time ago. I'm really angry. I'm really angry. How old am I? I'm really angry. All my siblings, my youngest, can drive. But anyway, I'm changing that. I'm changing that. You have to be really angry to evoke the change you want. Some things you have to just say enough is enough. Sometimes you just have to realize your worth, that you deserve better. I knew I deserved better than hopping the bus 5 a.m. in the morning for a job that I have to resume by 8:30. I knew I was not doing enough to get the comfort that I want. I know I was worth more than that, and I can actually get to it if I make plans for it, right? If I make plans. So now there is a budget towards that goal, and I will get there. So sometimes you should become angry, know your worth. Become angry at that job that is not giving you the growth or expansion that you want. Become angry at a relationship that is draining you and not helping you. A relationship, a friendship is meant to support you, enhance you. You're meant to support each other. When you're in a relationship, a friendship, a commitment, anything that is draining you and not pouring into you, then get angry enough to change it, to alter it. Sometimes people know what they are doing when managers, colleagues, friends, partners take and take and take and take and take from you. They know because you're complacent, because you feel like okay, you will keep giving, they will keep taking. So until you say enough is enough, they won't stop. Some things won't stop until you put a stop to it, until you put an end to it. You stamp your feet on the ground, you stand your ground. Some things won't change. If it's not broken, why fix it? Right? So if you've not aired anything, if you've not complained, if you've not gotten angry to the point to change something, it wouldn't change. And people won't do that change for you. Now back to the moral story of the prodigal son. God created you with immeasurable love. God always has your back. And sometimes even when we stray away from God's plan, when we stray away from things that are supposed to edify us, you can always come home. You can always come home. The prodigal son knew he could go home. And even if he was not willing to go back as a son but a servant, he knew the doors would be open to him. How much more you, God's beloved? Right? So when a situation is not favorable for you. I always want you to know you could always come home. When you get angry to cause a change, get angry and tell God, God, you are tired of this situation. I am tired of this. Like, get angry and have that conversation with God. He's always there. God, I know I made a mistake. I know I've gone down the wrong path, but now I am changing it. I know this is not the relationship you want for me. Now I am changing it. I know this is not the job you want for me. Now I am changing it. God is always merciful, ever ready to bless us, ever ready to welcome us back home and clothe us in the robe of royalty. Right? So, get angry at the situation that is not favoring you. Get angry at things that you need to change. The assignment for this week is to search inward. When you reflect on your life, on your journey, where you are at, evaluate everything. What is not working for you? What situation is not working because of your negligence, because of your laziness, because of your I don't care attitude? What situation is not working for you? Change that. Get angry now enough to change that. Okay? You can't be saying one thing and your actions are totally opposite. So if you want something to work for you, it means you have to do the work. So get angry enough to do the work. So the assignment for the week is to get angry and cause a positive change in your life, in your situation, in your relationship, in your family, at your workplace. Get angry enough to change it for the better. You have that power within you. You are worthy. Never forget that you are worthy. That you deserve the best. Never forget that you are worth more than you're willing to take. Always remember, you are worth more. You are worth more. Never forget that. So I'd like to know, what's the most powerful thing you've taken out of this episode today? What is the lessons you're going to be implementing going forward? And if this story has resonated with you, I would like you to share your experience with me. A time when your anger has caused a positive change in your life, in the life of someone, in your family. A time when out of anger you've done something to bring an eruption, to change the status quo, to make something better, to enhance a life, to enhance a situation. I want to hear all about it in the comment section. Okay, so do well to share with me your stories. And don't forget to check out previous episodes. You could learn a thing or two and share them with your friends as well. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notification, and stay tuned for posts like this every week. And I shall see you next week, Vibers. Cheers!